Classified crime is on the case. Cortney Bell wanted on drug charges by the Jasper County Sheriff's Office in Monticello, Georgia. So I shared this wanted poster this morning, and it just said multiple charges. It didn't clarify what charges. But in this article by the Covington News by Kate Verity, published this afternoon, it details a little bit more about the charges and the history of her case in Newton County. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office, JCSO, is currently seeking help locating Cortney Bell, who may be in the Covington area. The JCSO posted a BOLO for Bell on Facebook on Monday evening that stated she is wanted on multiple charges. The Covington News reached out to the JCSO, and a spokesperson said that she is wanted on drug charges, though it is not clear the specifics of those charges. When asked if Bell had any other pending charges, the JCSO spokesperson reiterated, "This says drug charges." And this goes into the history of her case. Previously, Bell faced charges involving the 2017 death of her infant daughter, Kalia McNabb. On the night of October 6, 2017, Bell and her then-boyfriend, Christopher McNabb, who lived together at the time, reportedly smoked methamphetamine. The next morning, Bell awoke and Kalia was missing from her crib with only her pajamas remaining on the bathroom floor. Bell reportedly called the police, alerting them that her daughter was missing. A day later, the infant's body was found in a wooded area nearby. So sad. Bell and McNabb were ultimately convicted for the murder along with several other charges. McNabb remains in prison where he is serving a life sentence. Bell was originally sentenced to 30 years with 15 years to serve in prison. However, Bell's sentence was eventually overturned. The Court of Appeals of Georgia reversed the first two convictions, murder in the second degree, cruelty to children in the second degree, but upheld the third charge of felony contributing to the dependency of a minor. And I'm guessing that's because the child was only 2 weeks old, and if she admitted to using methamphetamines, and then if she's breastfeeding or using around the child can become dependent. The appeals court determined that Bell's acts of neglect were not the sole proximate cause of the victim's death. The evidence played a substantial part in the victim's death, and that death was a reasonably probable consequence of that neglect. In 2023, the Georgia Supreme Court ruled in Bell v. the state that there was not sufficient evidence to prove that Bell was guilty of contributing to her daughter's death. In summary, the evidence here showed that Bell went to sleep one night, checked on Kalia early the next morning, and went back to sleep for 4.5 hours. The evidence further showed that while Bell slept, McNabb committed a violent crime that the state conceded was the direct and immediate cause of Kalia's death. Justice John J. Ellington writes, "There was no evidence that Kalia's death was a reasonably foreseeable consequence of Bell's drug use or drug use in the home by McNabb or others, or that it was reasonably foreseeable that McNabb would commit the horrific crimes that resulted in Kalia's death. And there was no evidence presented that showed Bell was a party to McNabb's crimes, that she heard McNabb striking Kalia and did nothing to stop him, or that she refused to provide Kalia with potentially life-saving medical treatment. Anyone with information on Bell's whereabouts can contact the JCSO at 706-468-4930. So this case was incredibly sad, and it doesn't mention in this article, but I think Bell and McNabb were actually cousins or in some way related. I'll have to look back and see where I read that, but the father of Kalia, I'm not sure what he did, but I think they were both under the influence, and he probably got frustrated because infants cry a lot throughout the night, especially 2-week-old infant, and he probably just either shook or harmed the baby in some way. And then he just went and hid the little baby's tiny body in the woods near where they lived. Thankfully, the sheriff's office was able to find the body and prosecute him for that violent crime. And for some reason, the Georgia Supreme Court ruled that Bell, the mother, was they overturned the conviction of the second-degree murder of her child and just said that she, they upheld the conviction of her using methamphetamines, but they did not uphold the second-degree murder or the cruelty to children, which I guess they're saying there wasn't enough evidence to prove that she was involved, only that the dad was involved. So I think that's why she got released. And it's not surprising that she is back under arrest for under warrant for drug charges again. So it looks like she has not been able to stay clean. So anyway, if you are interested in reviewing this case, going back to the court TV footage and talking about all the details of the case, we can definitely do that if you're interested. I will continue to follow the warrant posted on Facebook and see if she is caught and what comes of that, so we can continue to follow her case in the future. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.